If you've watched some of my videos before, you know I'm all about land survey drafting. And in this video, I'm going to be going over the differences between freelancing versus full-time survey drafting and which one is right for you. If you're working as a CAD drafter, you've probably thought about whether it's better to stay in a full-time job or to go freelance. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the differences between going freelance, going full-time, and what the benefits are between all of them. In reality, some people prefer the stability and benefits of a full-time job, while others love the freedom of freelancing and being able to set their own rates and work from wherever they want. But really, what are the pros and cons of each? And this is exactly what we're going to break down today. So in this video, we'll cover the differences between full-time drafting jobs and freelancing, what kind of person thrives in each path, how much money you can actually make doing both, what skills and tools are necessary in order to succeed, in my opinion, and how to transition from a full-time job to freelancing if that's your goal. And so by the end of this video, you're going to have a clear idea of which path fits your goals, lifestyles, and skills. And if you're ready to jump into this right now, please listen and follow along and hear what I have to say. Thanks. So what is a full-time land survey drafter? Well, that means that you work inside of an office at either a surveying firm or an engineering firm that also happens to do surveying. One of the interesting things about the surveying industry is that you have people that run companies that are strictly just surveying and that's all they do. And then you also have engineering firms that do surveying on the side as well, and they also offer that as an extra bonus. In my opinion, the difference between these two, I would not recommend going into an engineering company that also does surveying. Surveying sort of on the back burner for them, and a lot of the times they only have one licensed surveyor working inside of the office. And so if you're trying to gain surveying knowledge and work through the surveying field, this is probably not the best route to go, simply because you're going to be limited based on the type of education you get working under just one surveyor, as opposed to the other side with surveying. That's what they focus on strictly, less of the engineering stuff. And so if you're trying to get into sort of freelance jobs, learn the industry, or you're trying to have a really good stable career path, I really recommend just staying with the strict surveying companies. And so this typically means that you're going to be working set hours, 8 to 4, 9 to 5. You're going to be drafting survey plats, site plans, and construction documents. Those construction documents are typically as-built. And you're going to report to a boss, senior manager, and receive a steady paycheck, really good health benefits, and possibly a 401k. The really cool thing about working at survey companies is that you have to understand that they cover their entire basis of a company as far as insurance-wise, the exact same. So the people that go and work out in the field and actually do really dangerous work, a lot of times that insurance carries over to the people inside. So if you're looking for a company that has really good benefits, great place to be, simply because of that. They're not going to do two separate insurance policies between people that work inside versus outside. And so if you work inside and you're sitting in front of a desk all day, you're going to have really great health benefits for not a bad price whatsoever, just because you carry it over from what the field crews actually do. So that's a really good bonus. But yeah, your employer is going to assign you all your projects, and you're going to have a traditional career path. And it has its perks, but again, could be a little bit mundane depending on which sort of lifestyle you like to have. So again, main pros of working inside of a normal survey company, doing survey drafting: paycheck, health insurance benefits. You don't need to find any clients. They just kind of, you get what you get from your boss working on those projects. And your potential for career growth is very predictable. And that's simply because it's not up to you per se. It's up to, number one, your tenure. But I mean, it could be up to you. There are certain tests and education that you can take, and companies will eventually pay for your schooling if you want to get down a certain path. If you want to become a licensed surveyor, get the big boy license, you can actually negotiate with your company. And a lot of times they will pay for your schooling and education for you to take the exams. So that way they can have another licensed surveyor working inside of that company. And so if you want very good stability as far as education and pay, office routes, not a bad place to go. So here's the cons of working inside of a normal survey drafting position at an office. Number one, your limited income potential. You have a cap as far as how much you can make within a fiscal year, and as well as you have a lot less flexibility. You are on their time, therefore you are on their dime, which means that if you wanted to, I have seen where people have gone remote, worked a couple days from home. That is possible, and it is actually really good for these companies as opposed to other ones. Survey companies are usually really flexible with their drafters, and there are a lot of drafters who do work fully remotely, and so that is an option for you. But for being able to, just go take a vacation whenever the heck you want, probably not so much in this profession. The workload can be a little bit inconsistent. Sometimes you could be slammed for months working on certain projects, and then it kind of, lightens up a little bit, and you might find where it gets a little boring. You're going to be doing a lot of the same work, but if there's good education and your company works on lots of different types of projects, that's potentially not the case, but it is a possibility. So really, this is sort of the main breakdown of who I recommend working as a drafter inside of surveying at a normal position. Someone who's like stability and a predictable income. If you need a paycheck and you need a paycheck consistently, this is the route to go, and you don't like taking risks at all. If you're very risk averse, I recommend just going this path. You want good health insurance, retirement plans, and other benefits. Absolutely, these companies have some of the best of any businesses. And if you don't want to deal with finding clients, okay, that's one of the biggest difficulties as a freelancer is finding clients. You don't have to do that as a employee for a company. It's up to the company to find those clients. You just do the work for them. And so, yeah, if you really like having all of this, working for a team and knowing what to expect every single day, and you like a commute or the possibility of working somewhat remotely here and there a couple days from home, this is a good path for you. So what is a freelance survey drafter? Well, this is my, of course, bread and butter expertise. As a freelance survey drafter, you're going to set your own rate and choose whatever projects you like. You can work from anywhere, home, coffee shop, cruise ship. I used to do that. Handle your own taxes, your insurance, and your retirement savings. And you're responsible for finding the clients, which is sometimes most of the fun is the business aspect of it, because your income is absolutely unlimited as a freelancer because you are your own boss. You set your own schedule and time, and therefore you have no cap on how much money you could possibly make, either through working more, upsells, making your clients worth more, or working for more clients and expanding your business with more people underneath you. And so that's always a possibility. So this is one of the really cool things is that you're going to be able to work with survey firms, engineering companies, construction firms, or individual land surveyors who need drafting services but really don't want to hire full-time employees, or they cannot find full-time employees because there are some instances where companies can't even find people to fill in these positions anyways for like a normal job position. And so they're very happy to have a freelancer that works inside the US that they pay a lot more money than usual because it gets done. Their clients are happy and it's less time for them. You have to remember that as a freelancer, your clients sometimes for you to do the exact same drafts, if you're a good drafter, it could take you about an hour, maybe two, or taking them 4, 5, 6 hours. So you're saving them time and you're actually making them money in this process. And it's a really great business to be inside of. So there's a couple myths about freelancing in certain CAD fields. And I want to say this right now, that surveying is the complete opposite of this. And the main three concerns are going to be unpredictable income, hard to get clients. So, difficulty of acquiring clients. And then you have to do a lot more administrative work. I will tell you this right now, as a survey drafter who has gone freelance and made a very big business out of it, I'm telling you this, you do not have to worry about these three things inside of this industry. Inherently, the types of clients that we go after pay you a lot more on average. And also, you don't have to worry about where the next job is going to come from. If you work with a licensed surveyor, there's potential that you work with them for many, many, many years on end. And you only need like 2 or 3 freelance clients to pay you well over 6 figures, making the money that you want to make because you are a freelance drafter. And so that's just one of the benefits. And so, the difficulty of getting these clients, I mean, it's the same as getting any other client. But the thing is that would you rather get one client that pays you $1 or a client that pays you $50,000 a year, right? Consistently. Let's just go after that client. So it's a lot less stress on you once you've landed them. Once you've made a little bit of a name for yourself inside the industry, people know that they want to work with you. And so therefore you are valued very highly inside of this field. And the administrative work, that's nothing. I mean, you're going to be doing the exact same stuff inside the office that you'll be doing for yourself as an individual. And so as long as you have good systems set in place, it's really not that big of a problem when you start the business where that ever becomes a headache. You get the drafts done, you send it off, you get paid. Simple. So again, most pros as a freelance survey drafter is going to be higher earning potential. That's an obvious one. If you want to make more money, not have a cap on what you can do, and have the ability to expand in any sort of direction that your mind can fathom, freelancing is probably for you. Total flexibility, you're setting your own hours, you can work at night. As long as the job gets done within the allotted time that your client wants you to do, they're happy. And you have more control over what you're going to be doing in the future because you specialize in a high-paying drafting niche, which is the best place to be right now, in my opinion, as a freelancer. Not in any other field, it's in drafting, specifically in surveying, which is even more niche than that. And so therefore the pay is so much higher. And you can work from anywhere. When I first started as a freelance survey drafter, I would go on cruises for weeks on end and draft from my laptop, because again, the files that we work with aren't that big. I would get sent the data file over email. I would download it. I have CAD open. I didn't even have to be connected to the internet, and I could get these projects mostly done before I had to log back in and submit it back over email. So it's a great sort of workflow, work-life balance if you want to have it that way. And again, it all depends on what types of jobs you do. My bread and butter was residential surveying projects, so I did a lot of little projects as opposed to people who like the big commercial stuff. I suck at estimates. I'll be completely frank with you. And so those big projects for someone that's good at estimates, they can make really good money because they know how much time it's going to take them to get it done and how much money they should be making off of it by the end of it. For me, I like the little projects. I wouldn't get stuck in between. I wouldn't shoot myself in the foot on a bad estimate. So it worked out very well for my use case. And so just revisiting, who is freelance drafting best for inside of land surveying? This is for the people that want to earn more and have more time and location freedom. You value flexibility and the idea of being your own boss, and you want to work from home or while traveling, and you really don't care where the work gets done, and your clients don't care as long as it gets done. And so I think the big thing is that a lot of people are scared because of the idea of the difficulty of acquiring clients. But if you've already made a name for yourself inside of an office, there's no reason to think that you wouldn't be found as a good drafter on the freelance end. And the type of work that you'd have to do to make that all put together is really not that much. It's a very simple system to go after clients, and direct outreach works. You can literally just call surveyors and pitch your services. But at the end of the day, you have to have a good portfolio that shows what you can do, and then also be able to negotiate a sale properly and set up a contract. But once you have a payment structure set up, it's really not that difficult. And so this is how you're able to get in a position where you're completely flexible, and there's nobody shouting at you or controlling you, on what you do every single day. So, but again, that is a downside where some people who go freelance become very lazy because you do not have anybody behind you telling you what to do. Some people need that regulation, but if you feel like you can self-regulate, freelancing all the way. So here's sort of a pay comparison of kind of averages of what you can expect inside of the industry, either as a freelancer or as a survey drafter working inside of a full-time company. And really it breaks down to this, the pay is gonna be very similar for quite a while, but the speed in which you can scale up on the freelance end is just significantly more. I went from literally a broke college student, eating from my school's food bank, to making $120,000 the next year simply because I got into survey drafting. I had 2 clients, okay? And I was able to expand that from just myself into multiple survey drafters underneath me because I hired college students and I built up a business doing it that way. And so that's a possibility for you if you put in the work, right? That's really the big if you want to put in the work. And so again, very predictable entry level for a company. You're looking at like 45 to 60K for starting right now, mid-level 60 to 80, and then senior drafters 5 years in the game. You might be a project manager by then. You're going to be a little bit over $100,000. As a freelance income, for newer freelancers that maybe are trying to get their feet wet in the industry, yeah, you can get your first client and very easily make $40,000 to $60,000 a year. You get a second client right there. You're working maybe 40, 45 hours a week. You have over $100,000 a year right there with just 2 clients. And as an established freelancer, you're able to charge more for your services and then eventually figure out how to do upsells. And then finally, if you want to expand, get people underneath you so that way you can step away from the drafting and worry about the business end as an individual. So here's how you're going to transition into a freelance drafter from a full-time position without risking everything. One thing you must understand is that as a freelance drafter, you don't have to quit your job immediately, okay? And all we have to do really is just land one client to get the ball rolling. And if you want to learn how to get into freelance drafting, I have a full roadmap linked below this video in the description of another video that goes over my entire process of how you can go from a full-time drafter inside of land surveying into a freelance drafter. And so if you fit within the skill set or you want to go freelance and drafting, go ahead and click that video and watch through it and check it out.